Welcome back to the channel, Frank the Fix. We got that same Acura TSX in here that we just finished up the power steering pump on. So we're gonna knock out that right front caliper now. We got the parts and everything, so let's get you in here and I'll show you how easy this is. You guys could do this right in your driveway in about 20 minutes. Alright, so first thing you want to do is pull these slide pins out. Now on this car they're about 14 millimeter. And they're, okay, there you go. So it looks like this guy just had a brake job done. And the problem with that is, he just had it to a shop and the mechanic swapped out the brakes. But he didn't check the caliper. Why was the brake sticking? You know, the rotors were all messed up. Alright, well, that was stupid. Put that bolt back in until I break this one loose. There we go. Getting ahead of myself on this one. So yeah, I mean, the rotor was all messed up. And nobody thought to figure out why. The other side had the brakes done at the same time. The other side had about half brake life left. So, that would just tell you something is going wrong. Now, it doesn't mean 100% that it's the caliper. It could be the line here. A lot of times these lines, if they're metal up here at the top, they'll rust and they'll create a void inside there where the fluid can't get back up. Not a void, it's more of a jam. And this brake right here feels tight in there. It should not be that hard to get in and out. So we're gonna have to take a look at that as well. Alright, now these second bolts here on this vehicle are 17 millimeter bracket bolts. This job isn't too hard. The hardest part about it is the bleeding of the brakes, and the only reason that's hard is because if you don't have the brake bleeding tool that we use here, you need another person. You don't always have another person, so just keep that in mind. We're gonna swap these out. These should have been swapped out when the brakes were done. We'll swap them out and we'll clean this. Well, you know what? We won't do that. What am I thinking? It's a brand new caliper. Should have it on there already, which it does. Beautiful. There's my hardware. Now you could just, you know, force this thing off like this, or you could put the bracket bolts in and then break them loose, which is what I probably should have done, but I think the neighbors are having a party or something, huh? Dragging a brand new caliper all over the ground. I'm using a ratchet when I have all power tools and whatever. All right. Now, they make a tool to pinch off these brake lines. It just goes on the rubber part and it tightens up 2 pieces, closes on it. Just create tension to stop any fluid from going through it. Anyways, if you don't have that, you can use a pair of vice grips. Just do not tighten them up too much. You just need a little bit of tension. That's done. Make sure these things are greased up. You don't want to send those out with no grease in them. That will cause you some issues in the future. I'm going to put our brakes back in. Oh, hardware first, obviously. All right, here we go. All right, check fitment on them. They're already greased, but we'll put a little bit more grease on there. Make sure they slide good. Yeah, that's way better. Should I go in and out like that? Yeah, that's better. Go grab the grease real fast. Now, normally I have a brush to do this, but I don't have it here with me today. I'm going to try to avoid putting brake grease on the pad itself. Sometimes you get it on there, it'll burn off, but it does make a noise. Like I just got it on the caliper too. Like, all right. Yeah, and it's just that easy. It really is. You see, we did all of this in about 15 minutes. No power tools. No lift. Nothing. Just a ratchet and 2 sockets. They don't got to be real tight neither. I mean, they got to be tight, but not crazy tight. So, the new one, the new caliper has a 10mm bolt, and the old one, I believe, is 14. You got to replace these crush washers. Very important. One goes here, brake line goes on, the other one goes on the other side of the brake line, and then they get cranked down, and do not over tighten them. You break that banjo bolt, and now you're leaking fluid everywhere. Oh, I swapped that out a little too soon, then, huh? Might as well take this off now. Must not be. Ah, okay. My sockets were in the wrong spot. It's 11. It's actually an 11mm. And again, not too tight. So. Pinch this little cover off. Now you just gravity bleed them. Open the bleeder valve. Take your vice grip or your brake line lock off. And at this point, you just want to wait for it to start dripping out. But make sure you didn't bend this shroud in anywhere. If she starts rubbing, man, that's an ugly sound. And we'll let this thing drain in the tub over here. While this is gravity bleeding, you want to always check your fluid levels. I like to pop the cap open, let her drain out. And once you finish bleeding the brakes, this job's all done. If you guys like what you see here, do me a favor, like and subscribe, or just come back for more views. I work on all kinds of stuff. Trucks, trailers, motorcycles, semi-trucks. We do all kinds of stuff in this garage. So if you guys like it, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.